Peter King with NBC Sports here, and this is my 40 for 40 for 2010. Now think back to 2010. That was a time when the NFL, I believe, started to get serious about the issue of head trauma and brain trauma in the National Football League. I think they talked a very good game before then, but starting in 2010, after Eric LeGrand, the Rutgers football player, was paralyzed on the field at Giants Stadium during a Rutgers football game, after James Harrison and several other players in the NFL had some harrowing collisions and hits on players in games, got tremendous fines. The NFL really started to get serious about it. Even though the players fought back, Kevin Mawai, the NFLPA president at the time, said that the NFL office needs to take the skirts off. And, that kind of stuff obviously did not age well. So in October of 2010, I visited the foremost authority on examining deceased players' brains for the effects of CTE on players, Dr. Ann McKee up in Boston. And I remember there was this moment that I had with her in her lab. She was showing me the slides of some deceased players, Louis Kriegmer, Wally Hilgenberg. And I said to Dr. McKee, what would you say to the players who are complaining now about the NFL really getting tough on the head hits? She said, I wouldn't say anything. I would just show them these slides, the slides of players whose brains were basically, ruined by CTE and almost certainly by their involvement in significant collisions with the head from the sport of football. So that really had an impact on me, and I think it's important to realize, look, we all love football. It is so much fun. But I think one of the morals of the story that I take from it, and I have to inject this. I'm working at NBC at the time, and we sit in the viewing room every Sunday watching all the games. And one week, I remember Rodney Harrison, a tough football player, looking up at the screen after a violent collision. And Rodney Harrison basically, he said, and I quoted him in this story, "Thank God I'm retired." And so I think at that time, the NFL really started to get serious about the issue of head trauma in games. And I remember I ended my story in Sports Illustrated back in 2010 with a quote from Ann McKee. And her quote was, "Can we make football more like the Indy 500 and less like the Demolition Derby?" And I think that has been the goal of the NFL. I think they've had some successes, some failures, but I think the sport is a lot cleaner in terms of head hits than it used to be.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.